Maybe? Has that worked? I have no idea. Literally, is this working now? Oh. Do you know, it says it's live, so I'm just going to talk like it's live. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. Eric, tell me what I'm meant to be doing. Jeez. Okay, well, so apparently I was talking about boost converters. So boost converters. Right, I was talking about the LT1302, and that is a little boost converter. It's a 5-volt boost converter, and it will take the stuff you're kicking out from, let's say, a LiPo battery or from a couple of AA batteries and knock it up to 5 volts. Now, I used one of those on a recent board that I did, and I'm going to show you in a minute, hopefully if the stream holds up. And it didn't work, unfortunately, so I'm going back to basics, going back to hardware and figuring it out. So I'm making a board which is specifically LT1302. Right. Is it working? It hasn't commented on. Nice. Is that so? It's back. Good. Right. Right. Hang on a second. Can you all just tell me, is everything okay? Can I continue? Yeah? Okay, good. Good, I am very glad. Okay, let's continue then. So the LT1302 boost converter, going to be doing it again, going back to hardware. I'm looking at, let's get this other thing back. There we go. So I'm looking at messing around with the latching button, but again, didn't work on the board that I created. I suspect some kind of ground plane issue, but I'm not sure. So I'm going back to hardware again with that one. I'm going to do a separate board and make sure that it works on its own, and then figure out why they're not working together. I'm going to be going back to something I did a long time ago when I created an Arduino boombox. Now this used a resistor ladder along with a rotary selector switch, and I want to have a look at that again because I think there's something I can learn and also teach you guys about. But I want to do it with an AT-Tiny85, something that has a small number of pins and really requires a method of putting more inputs in. Now you could do this with something like 4017 or a 4051 analog multiplexer or something, but I want to do it with just passives, so I'll be talking about that. I want to look at using a real-time clock. Now I've used these in the past. I used one when I did this atomic clock project before, but the main purpose of that one was to get the time from the atomic time signal. But I really want to have a look at real-time clocks again and figure out if there's an easier way of doing it. There are plenty of libraries out there, so it'd be easy to do it that way, but I want to see if I can code it myself. And I've got a couple lying around. Hopefully the batteries in them last a while. I think they last a few years. We're going to use a 4017 to make a little light chaser and an LED matrix. Now 4017 I'll show you in a second. In fact, I can show you right now. So which one of these options is it to go on? Eric, this OBS, what's this? Stream health something or other it says. I don't know what that means. Stream health, stream currently lower than the recommended bitrate. I don't care. YouTube's telling me something about a bitrate thing. I'm not really interested. Sorry. Webcam full screen, is that the one? Yes, there we go. Right. So if I get rid of that now, this is a 4017. This one right here. It's hooked up with batteries at the moment. And all you do is press a button and it changes the LED that's lit. Now the 4017 is a decade counter, so it has 10 outputs on it, and it has a clock, a reset, clock enable pin, power and ground. And what you do is when you pulse the clock like this, it changes the output. There are no resistors on here, it's a bad idea to do that, but there are no resistors. So it changes the output, and it would be easy to scan through these very, very quickly with a matrix and control a matrix that way. So you'd use a few pins on your Arduino, and you'd use the 10 pins on this 4017, and it could give you easily 30 LEDs to control independently from something like an AT-Tiny 85, which is pretty massive, really. I'll talk about them a lot, but you may notice that I've been using the 4000 series chips for a while, and I quite enjoy them. I got this little book from some technicians at work, and in it was a list of all the 4000 series chips and what they did. And I was just amazed at how many of them in there that are still applicable today and that I could use. And these chips like date back to the 70s, you know, they're really old, but they're perfectly usable. And if you're creative with them, you can do quite a lot. So anyhow, so I'm going to be messing around with that. I'm making an SPL meter. Well, whatever. I think it's this. I think it's the beer actually that's making me not talk properly. I've only had one. There's a chime. It's probably, look, I'm playing some music in the background, so it's, do you want me to just stop it? There you go. I'm going to stop it, Eric, just for you. So I'm making an SPL meter, sound pressure level meter. So it measures sound and converts it to decibels, so a value that you can understand. Now this this SPL meter will be used in a studio at my work, so that people know whether they're exceeding the safe limits for their hearing. Right, I'll be back in a second. My camera's gone off now, hang on. Sorry guys, I'm just replacing the battery in my camera because it's gone off and I don't have an AC adapter. Oh, this is embarrassing. I did say that Eric was the one that was massively prepared for all of this stuff. And I'm like doing my second one. I've already ruined everything. Embarrassed myself hugely. Right. Let's try that again. Where did that thing go? Ah, it's gone off, okay. Right, I'm really sorry about that. I'm just gonna bring up the camera again. It'll show you my stupid face probably. There we go. It is back, I think. Let's try that. There we go. Right. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna go through these very quickly because there's other stuff I want to cover before the camera dies again or before I somehow mess something up. Do you know what, Eric, you can, oh, I just pressed something. I should, oh no. I hope the stream hasn't gone down just because I've pressed that. Oh God. I was trying to make somebody a moderator. I don't know how to do it. There you go. There you go, Eric. You can be a moderator because you'll be better at it than I am. Anyhow, I'm going to run through these really, really quickly, and then we're going to get to something a bit more interesting. So I'm going to look at some SMD soldering stuff, some Raspberry Pi voice control. This is part of this robot that I want to create. Interfacing with a compass. It's just going to be like an MPU 6050 or something like that. I'm going to look at my Arduino Zero clone. Now this I'm well excited about doing, but it's not ready yet, and I'll show you why in a second. I'm going to look at Raspberry Pi servo control and passing the servo control off to an Arduino. I think it's going to be a bit safer to do that since servos can run off very high current. I mean, I can isolate them, get myself a servo driver or something like a driver board, but I think I'm going to look at passing it off to an Arduino so that the Raspberry Pi can do other things. And then we're getting quite close to Christmas, which is horrendous, and I hate Christmas. I really don't like Christmas. I like giving gifts and all that kind of stuff, just not actual Christmas. So I'm going to look at making some cool Christmas decorations. Then I bought some vibration motors, obviously from China, of course. Really cheap, like 20 cents, 20 pence each. And I'm going to look at doing some haptic feedback stuff. And then I'm going to look at something which I find very dangerous. I made an Edison lamp at some point recently. There's probably a video on my channel somewhere. And I used mains in that and it terrified me. But I'm going to be looking at using some relays and also some solid state relays to control mains power using a microcontroller. Now whether that's going to be the Raspberry Pi, an Arduino, or even some RFID stuff, some dumb RFID stuff maybe. That would be interesting. And then I'm going to look at some Raspberry Pi face tracking. Now it's going to use OpenCV, I imagine, and a webcam. But that's because I want to look at making a proper full-on robot, which will be very exciting. And I'm just going to pull up a little video of the guy that I want to emulate. Now this isn't a person, this is a robot. His name's No or Now or NAO or something like that. So let's skip past the advert before I show it to you. So this is the little dude. Well, that isn't what I wanted to happen. I sort of just wanted it to be, what if I do that? Hang on. No, that's not right either. I was sure that I had this set up correctly. Obviously I don't. Let's go back to full screen and then I'll sort it out. No. No. Eric, how do you do this all the time? What's this one? Oh, that's that. Oh, I hate this. Right. Okay, edit scene. Let's just... Imagine none of this is happening right now because I should have sorted this out before we started. Okay. So, ignore the magic behind the curtain. Don't worry about that. I should have had more beers before I did this. I really should. So, if anyone doesn't know who this is Now or No or something like that. I met this guy, this little robot dude at my work, and I think he's awesome. He's really, really cool, and they cost around £5,000 each, so they're pretty expensive. But he can detect your face, as this is showing you now, and he'll talk to you. And I loved it, and it was. You know how you sort of imagine robots are real people? What's it called? There's a term for it, but I can't really remember what it's called. I really liked it. I thought it was very convincing as a sort of artificial intelligence, but really it's just a clever reaction to people. So I want to make something akin to this. It's obviously going to be rubbish. I mean, I'm not going to make something that looks like that, but I think it will be fun. So that's what I'm going to go for. And that's why I'm going to do all those things with the Raspberry Pi. What else have we got? What else am I messing around with? Oh, nothing. I was going to show you the failure that I did. Oh, Dirk, I can't. $3,000? Yeah, I'll just get my piggy bank. I don't think that'll work out. Well, thank you, Sasquatch, for being friendly about it. I know I've sort of ruined this stream, but I'm trying. You're right, Eric, about setting up the scenes and stuff. Honestly, I thought I had it all set up, but then I think I moved a window somewhere, and it's not quite in the right place anymore, or something. I don't know. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. You had one for like. I hate you, Dirk. Like, you had one of those guys. What did you do with it? Did you do any development on it? Well, I'm looking forward to creating something. I want it to like respond to my own commands and stuff. I don't imagine it's not going to like go fetch me a water or anything like that. But it might be able to answer some questions, maybe remotely do stuff. That would be cool, but not anything amazing. Right, let's have a talk about this thing I failed at before the camera goes out again and I have to go and move to a webcam or whatever. So let's just move this thing out the way and then we can have a look. Now, recently I made, right, which one is it? Is it this one? This one. There it is. Okay. So recently I made a portable 80 mega. You can see there it says portable 80 mega. Now I sent this off to OSH Park to get printed, and it looks really nice. Like, it looks as good as the little USB volume control board I did. It looks brilliant. Unfortunately, I screwed up somewhere. Is that swearing? I'm not sure. I screwed up somewhere. No, why am I saying it again? I messed up somewhere in my board layout. Now, I think I know where I went wrong, and I'll show you on the board that I populated. But I've got a couple of these boards spare now that aren't worth a penny, because I populated one, and there's the SMD soldering I was talking about, which went really well. I was quite happy. The problem is that some of it didn't quite work. I missed out a part in my proper schematic, so that I ended up having to put a bodge resistor over to, I think that's the read battery voltage analog pin actually, that I had to put that on there. And I didn't populate the bottom of the board. So the bottom of the board here, that's the momentary push button switch to turn the thing off and on again. So in order to turn it off, I have to short a wire from the battery to the edge of this resistor just here. Anyhow, on the top here, you'll notice, if I can get it a bit closer, can I do that? Let's see. All right. This is a bit difficult. So next to this cap here, you'll see I've scored a line across the circuit board because there's a trace that shouldn't be there. The battery circuit works by pulling the current from the battery and boosting it up through the LT1302 and sending it into the circuit. But also on here, that's the LT1302 just there. But also on here, we've got a charging circuit, which is that one there. That's the Max 1811. And it charges the battery. Now, the Max 1811 should be connected before this this massive diode that we've got here. And the reason for that is it pulls in the voltage from the USB, and it needs a highish voltage in order to charge that battery. So it's got to be about 4.7, something like that. But when the boost converter's working, it's also connected to the 5-volt portion of this circuit, which means it goes through the blooming USB, because I forgot to not route it there. So it charges the Max 181 charges the battery, and the boost converter powers the Max 1811. So it's charging itself, which is possibly the worst thing I could have done. Unless, I mean, if it created like an over Unity engine, machine, whatever you want to call it, would be brilliant. But unfortunately, it didn't. So I had to cut a couple of tracks. And again, it still didn't work. Even when I isolated everything on that board, it didn't work. Now, I think the problem lies in some of the ground planes, possibly also the use of this capacitor here, or is it, no, yeah, this output capacitor here has a relatively high ESR rating, that's equivalent series resistance, and really it should be a low ESR cap, so I'm redesigning it with a lower ESR. It currently only kicks out about 3 volts from that LT1302, which it shouldn't because it's a fixed 5 volt one. The inductor is the one recommended in the datasheet, so it's a bit of a mystery to me really. And it's got a fast acting diode in there, and that's also the one recommended in the datasheet. So it's a bit of a mystery, so I'm just going to redesign it with better parts and hope it works. And I didn't follow the manufacturer's recommended outline, which is, I guess that, you know, it sets you up for failure really. So I've redesigned it closer to the recommended manufacturer's outline or board layout. But again, you can't always do that in every design. So I've just gone as close as I can, which involves turning the inductor around and replacing some of the caps from where they are and putting them elsewhere. So hopefully that will fix the issue. I'm not entirely sure though, we'll see. So that is a bit of a fail. And I've got 3 of these just sitting around. So we'll see what happens with those, I guess. That sort of is all I've got to show you for like stuff that I failed at, I think. I can't remember if I said I was doing anything else. Hang on. I am doing something else. I got some post today. I didn't expect it, so I've just sort of tacked it on the end. I need a knife or something. There we go. We've got this thingy. So I got some packages in the post today. I'm not sure what they are because they've come from AliExpress. Let's go back to this thing. Because they've come from AliExpress, they've taken like years to get here. Probably not that much. Taken about, I don't know, 6 weeks, something like that. An awfully long time. So I thought I'd open them up and I can tell you what I'm going to do with these things, but I can't really remember what they are, unfortunately. So, well, that's the wrong thing. Eric, how do you do this? Like, keep track of all these things. Honestly, you need to like label these a bit better. Am I really out of focus? I'm sorry. I'm literally so like nervous right now because I'm so frightened of screwing everything up. So I apologize if I'm messing things up. So I'm just going to go ahead and open these before I like mess everyone's evening up. Right, so I got this one. It's probably got my address on there, actually. I didn't really think about that. Let's see. Not on the back it hasn't, that's fine. So this cost how much? They usually say on the packets, don't they? This one doesn't. Why is it? I think it's a bitrate problem. It's not out of focus exactly. Thanks, Eric. So we're going to just open this up. I know it's Mailbag on a live stream. It's such a weird thing. But we'll go for it all the same. Oh God, I can't actually get in it. We're not going to do it there. We're just going to do it on the main screen. Because it's just too hard. And I'm not... I don't really know. Oh, right, okay. No, actually, we are going to go back to the camera thingy because I've opened it now. So I picked up these... oh, God, they're sort of attached together. These are just little analog joysticks. So these are sort of like the kind of thing you get in an Xbox controller. They are connected together somehow. They are soldered together. Oh no, they're not soldered. I can snap these. There we go. So they're just simple little things, and I thought if I'm creating a robot, I want to be able to manually control it as well, rather than just have it programmatically controlled. I want to use some of these. Now these should come off, hopefully. Yeah, they do. So that's sort of what they look like there. They're analog, so they'll kick out an analog voltage. So you throw 5 volts in, you get an analog signal out, and it'll start at 0 and go up to 1023 depending on how far you move it across. So I thought those would be really interesting to play around with, and they were very cheap. So they were about $2.50 for 2 delivered, which is nice. So next up we have quite a large package. You can't see it there, and I'm not sure what's in it. So again, it's gonna be a surprise to you and me. I promise whatever's in it, I'll show you. Let's just have a look. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know really what it is. Oh, well, it is on f1.8, Eric. It's a Canon EOS 600D plugged into my computer to get the video rather than a webcam. So this is what we've got next. So let's pull these out. I've already played around with these. These are little 8x8 LED matrix boards. So I bought 4 of them, and for good reason really. I have this really old record player, and I really wanted to create a little digital equalizer for it. So I'm hoping to use 4 of these connected together and create a nice stereo equalizer. So this is what they look like. They've already got this Max chip already on here. I don't know if you can read what that says, but it's a Max 7219 chip. They're really simple. They're the miniature version, which is great because they look better at a distance really. You can't really see the pixels too much. And it comes with these little cables as well. So I'll be playing around with those. And then lastly, we've got one more. Again, trying to hold up my my address so you can't see that. I think I could probably just tear this, hopefully. Danger. I don't know how to say all of that. It's not out of focus, certainly isn't on my screen. It's a bitrate issue. I can only really upload at about 2000 bps. In fact, YouTube's telling me my stream health isn't perfect because I'm currently uploading at 1800 kilobits per second. So that's the reason it looks a little out of focus. It's just because it's got a lower bit rate. But because it's streaming, it's converting at an even lower bit rate than that, which makes it look out of focus. It will look in focus when I upload the final thing, and hopefully it will all be in sync. I'm not sure though. Right, the last one, I don't know what this is. This is exciting. So there we go. Whatever it is, we're going to open it. So if it's personal, you'll see it first. Right. Okay, let's get a little knife on there. And we'll figure out what it is. So, before I turn it over, that looks suspiciously like some kind of fake Adafruit thing, doesn't it? A little bit, at least. Okay, so it's a 4.5 digit. Do they call it a half digit when it's got dots? 4.5 digit 7-segment display. I'm making a clock. I forgot. The RTC, the real-time clock. I wanted to have a little display for it. That's what I bought this for. I've just remembered. Anyway, that's all the stuff that I have for you today. I think. God, do you know what? Look, I love spending some time with you guys, and it's great to talk to you all. But boy, is it like scary, like doing this live stream stuff. I've been going for what, 40 minutes probably, if you don't include the time that it was off for a while, and I've really enjoyed it, but I feel like my brain is going like a million miles an hour. Anyway, let's skip to here. and I'll just talk to you for a little bit longer about some stuff. So I'd like these live streams to sort of be a chance for the community to come together a bit. Eric already does it. So Eric, you can see him in chat there. Is he still there? Yeah, Eric William, he does mkme.org. That's the community you can join if you like. Find it on Google+. I can probably, Eric, you can post links actually because you're on mod. Can you post a link to the makeme.org community on Google+? So you can all join that, which is a great place to meet and talk about projects and stuff that you've got going on. I like posting in there occasionally. A lot of other people post way more than I do, but I'm so unorganized with my projects, I don't really have anything to show until it's almost finished. So that's why I tend to just make a video about it. Not only does it help me finish the project, but it ensures that when I do post something up, that it's finished enough for you guys to look at it. Anyway, I'd like it to be a forum for us to come together and discuss stuff. Eric already does a really great live stream show, and he talks about like tech news, he talks about community contributions and stuff that he's seen, and he has these little things where he does collabs and stuff, and he's looking to do collabs, and he does sort of save the world type stuff because he's that kind of a hero. Honestly, he is. And he's got this cool project. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Eric. Make me sound like I've got the man crush. Anyway, he does a live show already, so I don't want to replicate what he's doing, but I'd like to do something a little different. And so that's why these first two live streams were more about me exploring what's possible. And I like messing around with the technology. This camera is just about to go off, I'm pretty sure. If it does, we'll swap out to a webcam or something. I just wanted to use something that looked a bit cooler. And so he's already got one going. I want it to be, this one to be a bit more of a free-for-all really. So we get together and do just whatever. So if you guys have any ideas of what we could do, maybe we could do some live demos. I showed you the 4017 IC. Maybe we can do some more of that stuff where I do it live, where I put that little circuit together live rather than 10 minutes before I'm meant to be streaming and the reason I'm late. So maybe we can do some more of that where we look at the data sheet together and like put some stuff together or whatever. I don't want it to be boring. I don't want it to be like tried and tested. I want it to be a bit experimental. So if you guys have ideas, then put them in the comments. I don't know if I can see them afterwards. I've no idea. But if you can tweet me, that would be brilliant. My Twitter's not written anywhere in the description, so I can't change it now. But if you go onto my Google Plus page, I'm sure I've put it on there somewhere, and we can come up with some ideas together about how we can make this a bit more of an interactive event. What we could do is have, if you guys wanted to, like a Google Plus Hangout at the same time as live streaming, so that all of our faces can be displayed at once and we can stream it to everybody, but also have like a base of operations where we're trying things. So maybe we could all work on one circuit at once, trying out different ideas, throwing ideas into the pot, into the mix. It'd be great if any of you have any particular skills in an area and you'd like to be an expert on that skill. And then when we do a show, it could be, let's go to Dirk for pretty much everything, or Eric for all the cool stuff. I'd almost swore then, I'm not allowed to swear really. And it'd be great if we could do sort of a panel, solve a problem kind of thing. So that's one idea, I guess. But whatever it is, I'd like it to be not the same as everything else, because I don't want you to come here and just watch something where someone's already doing it really, really well elsewhere, because I can't replicate that because it's just a bit beyond me. But I just want it to be fun. So if you guys have ideas, tweet me, whatever, message me on Google Plus and we'll figure something out. But I think streaming at the moment is getting a lot bigger. You know, YouTube gaming, you can watch any stream on YouTube gaming at the moment, and it looks brilliant. Like it's like a full screen display and there's chat down the side. It makes it a bit more accessible. Like Twitch was the streaming platform for stuff, but no one used that for electronics, and I think YouTube is a lot more accessible. Lots more people have a YouTube account than a Twitch account. So I think this is a really easy way in for for people to get started with electronics. And honestly, it's the only reason I do YouTube videos is to get, every time I open YouTube and there's a comment and they're saying, look, this doesn't work or whatever, they're usually asking terrible questions, but I help shape that question. I help find a solution for them. And I mean, I really enjoy that. It's honestly why I'm on YouTube. That and, you know, all the fame. There's no fame. No, honestly, it's about the interaction, about the community. I think loads of people have said this before, but that's honestly what I'm here for. How do you keep up with the comments, Eric? Like, there's been loads flying by and I have to keep talking, but I'm afraid of the silence, literally afraid of the silence. So I can't stop talking. Right, hang on. I've got nothing for you to look at while, or maybe I do. In fact, hang on a second. Let's just look at this for a bit. That will do. This one? No, that one. Okay, everyone. While I read the comments, you guys can watch Glitch fly a little helicopter around. I was going to talk about it, but I don't think I'm going to have time because the thing's going to run out. But he 3D printed that helicopter. So you look at that while I read the comments quickly. Okay, I'm still reading the comments, sorry. Jeez, guys, it's just so difficult to keep up with. Sasquatch, you asked if you can wear a mask on the stream. You can indeed, your face doesn't need to be visible. All I'd want is audio from people, really. Okay, can I make you're watching on a 27-inch screen, okay. I'm gonna go back to the other screen now. So it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna finish here, I think. It's probably not been quite an hour, but you know, I messed up everything. So it's sort of gone on for a long time. What time is it now? We're at 8:30. So it has been about an hour. I know I didn't give you an hour's worth of footage. I'm really sorry. Actually quite upset about it. Not that I'm going to show you now, but I am desperately crushed that it didn't work out really well. I didn't plan everything, but I thought I had all the hardware set up and everything that I needed. So anyway, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate you all being in the chat and talking. So thank you. Please give me some suggestions on what I should do next. Twitter and Google, brilliant. On Google Plus, if you can just post some comments. I'd really appreciate it. And Eric, thank you for being a moderator. I don't think you actually had to do anything because the community of people that we all know are pretty brilliant, so they're not going to go messing around. So thank you very much, and goodbye.